Hi friends, today we are going to see the past year NEET questions for the chapter Strategies for Enhancement in Food Production, and today in this video we are going to cover part 3. Okay, now let's begin with the first question, which was asked in the year 2008. Consider the following 4 measures A to D, and that could be taken to be successfully grow chickpea in an area where bacterial blight disease is common. So what is that you can do? Okay, you're growing it in an area where there is an instance of bacterial blight disease and it's common in that area. So what are the measures that you will take? So the first one, spray with Bodex mixture, control the insect vector of the disease pathogen, use only disease-free seeds, or use of varieties resistant to the disease. So what do you think will be the answer? So spraying Bodex mixture, control of insect vector of the disease pathogen, is it feasible to do, especially when it comes to control? See, using only disease-free seeds and using variety resistant to the disease will be more prominent method when compared to the first two methods. So what is the best way to be successfully, how can you grow in that particular area where you already know there is a prevalence of this disease called bacterial blight? Okay, so the smart way is, instead of putting in a seed which is already not disease free or it is not resistant, we know we have to spray in Bodex mixture or not. But in an instance where we know there is a disease which will occur for sure, you can go for disease free seeds or you can go for varieties resistant to the disease. Therefore the right answer to this question is option C. Okay, 3 and 4 will be the most feasible method or to get the successful cultivation of the chickpea. Okay, so to tell in common about this bacterial blight disease, it occurs in crops, especially as you saw now with chickpea, where you'll have the leaves, discoloration of the leaves, and you will not have proper yield. So these are some of the side effects of this disease. Okay, next question here. Which one of the following proved effective for the biological control of nematodal disease in plants? Okay, now coming to this question, what do you mean by nematodes, especially when it comes to a plant? Okay, nematodal pathogen in plants. Now, nematodes are what, first of all? What are they actually? What is a plant nematode? Nematodes are thread-like roundworms that live in the wide range of environments, including social and fresh or salt water. There are species of nematodes that feed on fungi, bacteria, protozoans, and other nematodes of the plants. They can also parasite insect, animal, and humans. So which one is proved to be effective against the biological control of these nematodal nematodal disease? Okay, so you're given 4 options here, right? Islothics, then you have Pseudomonas, then you have Glycocladium. No, it's not Glycocladium, it's Leocladium. Then you have Mysis. So what is the right answer here? Pachyomyces is actually the answer. Okay, it's a cosmopolitan filamentous fungi. Which one? Which one are we talking about? We are talking about this. So this is actually a fungi which inhabits the soil, decaying plants and food products. Some species of this Phaeolomyces, it is used or it is isolated from insect. The telemorphs of this particular species is classified into the genera of Glycomyces, and you have various other species, various other genera which can come under it. It is usually considered as a contaminant but may also cause infections in humans and animals. So this nematodal disease is not just common in plants but also common sometimes in humans also. So this particular fungi, if you see, is used as the best biological control for the nematodal disease in plants. So nematodes is not just a pathogen of plants, but it also sees to affect animals and humans as well. What are they actually? They are worms. Okay, so the one best control over this nematodal disease in plants is option D. What is it? Phaeolomyces. It's called as Licaceans. Okay, So Phacomyces lilaceus is a very good method, or it's a filamentous fungi where you can actually control this nematodal pest, which actually is a threat to a plant. Okay, apart from that, if you want to know anything about this nematode, well, fine. What do plants do when nematodes affect them? Other common garden vegetables grown during the mid to the late summer, such as tomato, pepper, cucumber, squash, etc., they are susceptible to this root knot nematodal malfunctioning or a disease. Plants growing in nematodal infested areas usually unthrifty, stunted, yellowish, and have galled and decayed roots because they are feeding on the fungi and the bacteria that is in the roots. So what happens? The nutrients, all that is required for the plant, has been taken up by the nematodes. So how does the growth look like? The growth is the plant looks unthrifty, then it has stunted growth, then it will be yellowish. Okay, so this is how it appears. Okay, next question here. Which one of the following is being utilized as a source of biodiesel in Indian countryside? Very easy question. Very easy question actually. So you're given 4 options here: beetroot, sugarcane, euphorbia, and pongamia. So what is the right answer? The right answer is pongamia. It is one of the few nitrogen fixing trees that we have, and it produces seeds containing 30 to 40% oil. It is often planted as an ornamental plant and a shade tree, but nowadays it is considered as an alternative source to the biodiesel. This species is commonly called as pongam, or you have other names also: jatropha, euphorbia, pongamia. All these are crops that are used, all these are sources which are used in or you call it as biodiesel or biofuel. However, the Indian countryside, we have this particular thing called pongamia, which is highly used as an alternative for biodiesel. So when we talk about the Indian origin, we have pongamia. The other sources which we spoke in the earlier parts were jatropha and all that. Okay, therefore the right answer to this question is pongamia. Beetroot, euphorbia, you don't have any source. Sugarcane, there is a chance for us to take ethanol, bioethanol from the molasses of sugarcane. So here the question clearly tells you it's biodiesel, therefore sugarcane will not be the answer, because some might have this confusion. Okay, next question. In maize, hybrid vigor is exploited by dash. So this question was asked in the year 2006 and again repeated on 2007. So what do you mean by hybrid vigor? Maybe it's right time for us to talk about. What do you mean by hybrid? Or we can just say hybrid vigor. See, the tendency of the crossbred individual to show qualities superior to those of both plants. What is hybrid vigor in plants? It is called, actually the process of hybrid vigor is together called as heterosis. Okay, it is called as hybrid vigor. The increase in such characteristics, maybe it can be size, it can be growth rate, it can be fertility, it can be the yield of the hybrid organism over those of its parents. That is, it behaves superior to the parents that it has been obtained. That is a main point to be noted here. Now I've given you the clue. What do you think will be the answer here? It is the crossing of 2 interbred parental lines, and the activities or the characteristics that it performs or shows will be superior to that of the parents. Okay, therefore the right answer to this question is option A. It is best maintained in vegetatively reproducing crops because of the genetic recombinations. Okay, next question here. Crop plants grown in monoculture are dash. So what do you mean by mono? They are single. Mono means single. Now I think you'll be able to answer. See, when crops are grown in monoculture, they are highly prone to pest because they are not drought resistant, right? That is the main reason here. Therefore the right answer to this question is option C, highly prone to pest. Next question here. Farmers in a particular region were concerned that premature yellowing of leaves of a pulse crop might cause decrease in the yield. Which treatment could be most beneficial to obtain the maximum seed yield? And this question was asked in the year 2006. We have to analyze the statements here. Treatment of the plants with cytokinins along with small dose of nitrogenous fertilizer. No. See, one thing you need to note here is because iron promotes the formation of chlorophyll and magnesium. What is required? Iron, right? It is an integral part of the chlorophyll molecule. So in the absence of these nutrients, plants will show chlorosis or leaves will get yellow. So iron is the main ingredient that is required for chlorophyll, because they have clearly mentioned is yellowing of the leaves. The yellowing of leaves means the chlorophyll content is not present there. There's no proper photosynthesis taking place. So what you can do, you can apply iron. That is, removal of yellow leaves and spraying the remaining green leaves with 2,4,5 trichlorophenoxyacetic acid. You think will be the answer here? No. See, as I said, application of iron is required. Yellowing of leaves is because of the chlorophyll content is absent there. So when you're given then iron, which is required for the chlorophyll, iron and magnesium are the main source that is required. Therefore, application of iron and magnesium to promote synthesis of chlorophyll will lead to the absence of the yellowing of leaves. Therefore, the right answer to this question is option C. Next question here. Triticale, the first man-made cereal crop, has been obtained by crossing wheat with dash. So this is a very easy question because we had this in a talk for a few days when this was actually started and which was actually done. So what is it actually? Any idea? What is it? It's ray. What is ray? What is basically ray? Ray is actually a grass. Okay, so triticale was the first man-made cereal crop which was obtained by crossing the wheat and ray. And actually ray is a grass grown extensively as a grain and a cover crop or a forage crop. It depends. It's a member of the wheat tribe and it is closely related to barley and wheat, and that is why it was easy for them to cross. Okay, therefore I've given you the answer. The right answer is option D, ray. So you have the name of the scientific names also given here, Triticum, acetamum and all that. But since this was in close relation with wheat and barley, it was easy for them to crossbreed and get in the good results. Next question here. Curing of tea leaves is brought about by the activity of dash. Okay, so what do you mean by curing or whatever? Curing of tea leaves is brought about by the activity of bacteria. It is essentially an oxidation, dry fermentation process during which water is driven off the green color. It's driven off the green color. Okay, and green color is lost and the leaves assume a tougher texture and undergo chemical changes. Mycorrhiza, if you see, it is actually a mutual beneficial symbiotic organism where it has a relationship between the fungi and the root of higher plants. Viruses and fungi are not involved in the curing process. Therefore, curing of tea leaves is brought about by the activity of the bacteria. So what happens here exactly? It is essentially an oxidation dry fermentation process during which the leaves are driven off their green color. The dried leaves, how will they be? Will they be green in color? No, they will have their green color driven off. That's what is the main process here. Therefore, the right answer is option D, bacteria. Okay, so the microorganism used here is Micrococcus canadicans, which is used for the curing of tea. It's a bacteria actually. Next question here. Three crops that contribute to the maximum to the global food grain production is dash. Very easy question. We know one is rice, one is meat, because the first place goes to rice and the second place goes to wheat. What is the next one? So the three crops that contribute to the maximum production or to the global food production is wheat, rice and maize, which belong to the family Poaceae. Okay, therefore the right answer is option A. Easy question. We all know rice is a staple food of our nation. At the same time, the second place goes to wheat. But the overall, if you see the overall consumption, overall the world, again rice comes the first place. Okay, next question. India's wheat yield revolution in the 1960s was possibly primarily due to dash, and this question was asked in the year 2004. Okay, what do you mean by this question? India's wheat yield revolution in 1960s was primarily due to dash. Green revolution was possible due to the hybridization technique. What do you mean by green revolution? Where you will increase the production. To make the country self-sufficient, they use this term green revolution. Increased chlorophyll extent has no effect on yield of crops. Hybrid plants where dwarf becomes because of the selection. Quantitative trait mutations are involved in hybridization. So the crops that undergo hybridization, they undergo mutation. That's what they're trying to say here. Are you sure? No. See, in 1963, we have something called ICAR. What is this actually? Do you know what it is? What is the full form of it? ICAR. See, ICAR can be it's the full form stands for the Indian Council of Agricultural Research. It is actually an autonomous body that is responsible for the coordinating agricultural education and research in India. So what do they say? If you see, they introduce many selections which include those developed from the many other varieties. But what they found was the best way to have a good result from this green revolution, where they have to increase the yield, mutations resulting in plant height reduction worked well, it seems. Therefore, the right answer to this question is mutations resulting in plant height reduction. Okay, so here you have the same thing. So here, if you see, they have just taken the dwarfing plants, they have mismatched, they've crossbred and all that they've done. So it's the green revolution was possible only because of hybridization technique. Okay, next question here. The most likely reason for the development of resistance against pesticides and insects damaging a crop is dash. So what do you think will be the answer here? See, we need resistance. Rather than spraying chemical pesticides and biopesticides, the best way that you can do is to make the plants or the seed resistant to a particular disease or a pathogen. That is the best way. Okay, according to the Darwin, resistance to pesticides is a genetic basis due to the presence of certain alleles. In the presence of pesticides, the insects devoid of the allele for resistance die when once having them survive. They are selected by nature. Okay, therefore the most likely reason for the development of resistance against pesticides in insects damaging a crop is random mutations. Okay, next question here. Which of the following plants are used in green manure in crop fields and in sandy soils? This is an easy question for you, but you need to know what is it actually. I'll give you the answer. The right answer is option B. Okay, so what are the two names that are given here of the green manure? Crotalaria and algae. They are used as green manures in India especially. The green manures, what do they do actually? Green in the sense they are bio or eco-friendly, right? So what do they actually do? If you see, they will help the soil through increasement of area and water holding capacities, and also helps in the fertility part. So the two main important green manures which is used in the crop fields and sandy fields of India is Crotalaria and algae, which is option B. Next question here. Which of the following crops have been brought to India from New World? What is it actually? Potato is not our origin. I think you should know about that, because the common thing that you eat, it's the French fries, which started its origin from a New World, something that's outside India. So I've given you a clue. One is potato. Therefore the answer is option A. Cashew nut, potato and rubber are from the New World. Okay, they are brought from India. They're brought from India from from outside. Okay, next question here. Reason for the fast speciation in present day crop plants is dash. The phenomena of having one or more genomes in addition to the normal for the speciation, it is called as polyploidy. Poly means many, right? Poly means many. So the clue is here, where you have, see, a normal system will have the genes which are innate in it, and when you're adding something to it, or your the phenomena of having one or more genome in addition to the normal one, you call that as polyploidy, and this is the reason for the fast speciation in present day crop plants. Therefore the right answer is option C. With this we complete the part 3 of this chapter. Hope to meet you in the next part of the same chapter. Thank you.